Hey guys, welcome back to our lesson series that we're doing online, this faith study. I've had a lot of fun putting this stuff together and getting ready for it. But today I wanted to kind of talk to you guys about another step in our faith and the stories of faith. And today's story kind of is a familiar one. It's one of David and Goliath. You see, David and Goliath is a story of faith because David had stepped out and trusting God and knowing everything that God had done in the past to prepare him for this moment, for this great feat. And he just went right after it. He knew God was going to protect him, and he just went straight forward. And a lot of times in our lives, this is kind of where we sit, is that we see all the stuff coming our way. Everything that's kind of intimidating, anything that's kind of overwhelming. And we cower and we fear because we do not look back on what God had done, but we look forward to this obstacle and go, God, there's no way God can get me through this. The passage I'm going to use today, guys, comes out of 1 Samuel chapter 17, verse 34 through 37. Says this, but David said to Saul, your servant used to keep sheep for his father. And when there came a lion or a bear, and took a lamb from the flock, I went after him and struck and delivered it out of his mouth. And if he arose against me, I caught him by his beard and struck him and killed him. Your servant has struck down both lions and bears, and this uncircumcised Philistine shall be like one of them, for he has defied the armies of the living God. And David said, the Lord who delivered me from the paw of the lion and from the paw of the bear will deliver me from the hands of the Philistine. And Saul said to David, go, and the Lord be with you. You know, this is an act of faith for the simple reason that David knew exactly what God had done already. You know, when a lion or a bear came to the flock, a lot of times people would run in fear. I mean, nowadays, if you ask hunters who go out, you know, a lot of them carry a sidearm just in case they go hunting where bears are at, and they need to be able to draw quicker. So there's always that fear, there's that level, that these big ferocious animals. But David knew that back when he was keeping his father's sheep, the lions and the bears were a foe. Yes, they were heavy, they were a strong foe. But God delivered me out of the paw of the lion and delivered me out of the paw of the bear, he said. And he will deliver me out of the hands of this uncircumcised Philistine. David had the confidence in the Almighty to go out and do something extraordinary. And this is something we need to have in our daily life, is this confidence to go out and do something extraordinary. Because the Lord's already delivered us from so much. He's already brought us out of so much. So why are we so afraid? When we can look at the past and go, you know what? That bear and that lion are a little bit more scary than this Philistine, this Goliath, this giant. So why am I so afraid? You know, when we look at Goliath, you know, when we picture David and Goliath, we think of this really, really small man and this giant, quite literally a giant of a man. He was like 7 stories tall. But according to the scripture, he's anywhere between a head and shoulders above everyone else to about 9 feet. It'd be the equivalent of me standing next to one of a 12-year-old. It's one of those things where we look at David and his faith in this moment that we make our giants so much bigger than they actually are. And David knew how big his giant was. He sized them up. But when we get stuck in our fear, we kind of get trapped in this mentality that our Goliath is so much bigger than God. And God's sitting here going, no, I created that. That came from my hands. I know how that works. I know every minute detail about that Goliath, about that giant in your life. We can conquer this. God looks at you and says, together, that's not a problem. God says, by myself, that's not a problem. By yourself, that's a problem. But God says that's the point. You're not by yourself. You have me. So God says, let's go and conquer the giant. So I don't know what the giants are in your life. I don't know what you're going through, especially right now with all this sickness, all this disease out there, all these kind of scary things out there. We don't know what's going on all the time. And to be honest with you, even this coronavirus is kind of scary. But the Lord's got us through a lot more. Got through so much. This isn't a problem. I love you guys. I miss you guys. I can't wait to see you guys again. Until then, be safe.